We are. There were. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode. Almost looks like my hair's half dead. It's not. I just got back from the gym. I just got back from the gym. Had a date. Had an early morning date with some push-ups. Early morning date with some push-ups. Early morning date. Hello, Derek. Hey, Keith. Who's Keith? Dread. Sam. Derek, good to see you, dude. Haven't seen you for a long time. Hey, great to see ya. Good to see ya. Oh, boy. Friday. Dread, anything going on? Anything to talk about here? I don't think so. Don't think so. Oh, Dread's reading list. Hey, Clark. When Dread tells me a book to read, generally it turns out to be an awesome book. He told me about Ben and Jerry's The Inside Scoop. Awesome book. He told me about Scott Adams' How to Fail at Almost Everything Is Still Win Big. A really good book. He just told me about two more. Dread, what's the actual title called? It's a Mr. Rogers book. His biography, I believe. I don't know if it's an auto or a bio, but either way, I'll be reading that. And then also, Boys on a Boat. Is that what it's called, Dread? Hey, Dennis. Or should I say Sloth? So those probably are going to be the next two books I read. The Good Neighbor, yeah, by Mr. Rogers, and then Boys in a Boat, Boys on a Boat. Get this. I didn't even know this was possible. Dredd sent me a link yesterday called Boys on the Boat, right, Dredd? Does anyone know what this is about? I'm going to give you like a second to return the answer because I'm going to tell you what it's about. Actually, I don't fully know. But anyway, 20,000 reviews on Amazon. What? 20,000 reviews on Amazon. The Boys in the Boat. It has something to do with, what is it, 1930 Olympics? Has something to do with Nazi Germany. I know that. But here's a pickle that I'm in here. I also want to read this book, A New Earth, and I also want to read this book, How to Change Your Mind. So pretty soon, people, I'm just gonna have to get up, start reading, go to bed. It's gonna be it. Holy moly. There's so many books I want to read. But anyway, those are two books, The Boys in the Boat, that they're going to be coming soon. So let's get cranking to... Oh, it's closed. Let's get cranking to AMX. Let me open my software first. A quick reminder that what I learned this week comes out tomorrow morning. I'll be recording that live later on today. And... we had two episodes come out this week. On Tuesday, it was a recap episode of my trip out to Spartan Race in California, and then Thursday was a Dread-isode, where me and Dread shoot the shiz and we bring everyone up to speed on what we got, cracking. Also, a quick reminder to subscribe to the show. If you're watching, if you've watched more than one time, please consider subscribing to my podcast on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. It really helps out, and I'd appreciate it. That way I can do less copy and pasting on my social media links and just do what I do, which is teach. That would be awesome. That's cool. I want to throw this out there, Dread, specifically throwing it to you, but everyone else. So Dax Shepard, who's an actor, funny actor, he has a podcast, not the one you told me about, Dread, but which is called Armchair Expert. And I was listening when I was doing push-ups to an episode with Matt Lillard. So Matt Lillard and Dax and Seth Green were in the movie Without a Paddle a long time ago. Matt Lillard was in Scream. Pretty successful guy. He's been in a bunch of other movies, different roles. Some drama roles too. I feel like I've seen him on different, maybe they're Netflix series or Prime or just drama scenes. But anyway, it's a tremendous episode on creativity, being yourself, the work, the grind, the hustle, and the reality. I was going to say the sad truth, but the reality that it never stops. It never ends. That's the truth of it. But that's a really cool episode, Dredd. I'd highly recommend you listen because I think there's a lot of stuff relative to us. Again, it's called Armchair Expert, and then Matt Lillard. All right. Let's do this, folks. 1, 2. Yeah, Shaggy. Yeah. He talked about making a lot of money from Scooby-Doo. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, my friends, and happy Friday. This is the Spaniard Show. This is the Spaniard. This is the world's toughest lifelong learner. And this is AM Excellence 590. The Dichotomy of Leadership is the book we are studying right now. If that's not enough, this is I don't know what is. So happy Friday to you all. Hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend. And remember, new episode of What I Learned This Week will come out tomorrow on Saturday, October 13th. It is an encapsulation, a highlight reel of what I learned this week. It's learning and it's fun and it's inspiration and it's education, all packed into one high-energy 20-minute episode. Let's dive into today's dichotomy on the dichotomy of leadership. We're talking about being aggressive but not reckless. Man, I tell you what, the last couple chapters of this book have punched me right in the face aggressively, not recklessly, but aggressively. Why? Because there's so much similarity and alignment. I almost said simalignment. There's so much similarity and alignment between what I do, what I used to do, and what these guys are talking about. Obviously, they're in battle. Obviously, it's a level of realness that I will never touched on. But this idea the last couple days of training hard but training smart, training aggressively but not being reckless. Let's dissect this idea, aggressive but not reckless. What's that mean? And we're actually going to direct it. Probably the last bullet point of the day is my favorite bullet point that I took from this chapter. But it's this idea of being aggressive, having this energy, having this force, having this momentum, this movement, this action, but not doing it carelessly, not doing it recklessly, not doing it without thought, without caution, not by throwing caution to the wind, rather thinking through it. So Jocko's talking about this re-battle, but pretty much life, right? Jocko says, quote, my default mindset was aggressive, to take action to solve problems and accomplish the mission. Problems aren't going to solve themselves. As a leader, you must take action. And in the book, they actually say that default aggressive, that's a cool, I'm going to say tagline, but it's not a tagline. It's a way of being for them. But if you go to one of their events, default aggressive is one of the things you're going to see on their merchandise, default aggressive. And in the chapter, they spell out, as a leader, you've got to be default aggressive. Now, that doesn't mean rah, ruckus, rah, rah, emotion. But no, it's actually the opposite of that. It's calm, cool, and collected, getting after it. My mindset was aggressive, to take action to solve the problems and accomplish the mission. Problems aren't going to solve themselves. They're not going to solve themselves. You can sit and you can stew and you can think, and the problem is there, and it festers and festers and festers. It either stays the same or it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. This brings me back. One of the soon guests on the show, my former trainer, Justin Greskowitz, who's also a fighter himself, he's also a business owner. And I remember one time he was talking to me about life and business, and he said, look, I'd rather, this is actually when I was signing, like training with him, and we were figuring out what's what. And he said to me, I'd rather have an uncomfortable 90-second conversation now than let it fester and have a big problem in the future. So that's solving the problem, right? That's taking action to solve the problem. That's being aggressive. That's not punching me in the face, throwing me up against the wall and saying, hey, you got to do this better. No, it's, hey, here's a problem. We got to solve the problem. Let's be aggressive. Let's take action and solve this problem. Like I said, waiting for it's not going to solve the problem. Jocko goes on to say, quote, while being aggressive is a great default attitude to have, it still must be balanced. Again, this is the dichotomy of leadership, what this book is about. That aggressiveness still must be balanced with caution and careful consideration. Listen to this, to ensure it is not a case of excessive risk with limited reward. Risk and reward. When you study really, really, really successful people, and you watch these documentaries of people who are doing these, quote, crazy, insane things, you realize, wow, they really put a lot of planning in this. They are really not taking excessive risk with limited reward. Case in point, future guest on the show, Charlie Angle. He ran across the Sahara Desert. He ran across the Amazon. He's going from the lowest point on Earth to the highest point on earth. You would think this man is crazy. You would think he takes excessive risk with limited reward, but they don't. When you watch documentaries on free climbers, mountaineers, you realize, wow, this is aggressive, but this is not reckless because they put so much training and preparation and planning into this. So I saw this in fighting, and this was, a little bit of an uncomfortable chapter because I had to come to the realization, I've already came to the realization, it was just flashed again in front of my eyes. I never mastered this in fighting. I never mastered. Had I another 2 years? Maybe if I ever went back, wink, wink, probably not. Maybe I will master it. This idea, I never mastered being aggressive but not reckless. My default is aggressive, and that got me clipped on the chin quite a bit. Why? Because I was never able to rein down that aggressiveness and cap it. It was just go, 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 go. Now, if you want to see someone who is about as good as anyone can be, it's Khabib. Khabib was aggressive but not reckless with Conor. He was able to sit, and he was able to wait, and he was able to caution that aggressiveness with planning and preparation and not being reckless. He was aggressive. He was not reckless. He went at it at the right time. So you've got to taper that aggressiveness with that non-recklessness. Moving on, last, and this is probably my favorite point of the book, of the takeaway today, that of emotions. When people think of aggression, they think, aggressive. But that's not what it is. So are emotions involved in this leadership aggression? No, not at all. Not especially. Not at people. In the book, Jocko says this. Now focus this. Make this your takeaway of the day. Make this your action of the day. The aggression that wins on the battlefield, in business or in life, is directed not at people, but towards solving problems, achieving goals, and accomplishing the mission. I'm going to repeat that. The aggression that wins on the battlefield in business or in life is directed not at people, but toward solving problems, achieving goals, and accomplishing the mission. Look, I was running a session with Penn State Harrisburg basketball, men's basketball the other day, and it was rough, folks. It was an aggressive workout, and we were going at it hard, and they wanted to quit, and they wanted to stop, and they wanted to complain. And I said, take all those emotions. Take them off of me, take them off of whatever external sources, things you're thinking about right now, and put that aggression toward push-up. Put that aggression toward burpee. Put that aggression toward plank. Put that aggression towards squat jump. Put that aggression towards the thing. Remember, break down the mechanics. Deconstruct the obstacle. Deconstruct it, the problem, the challenge, the goal, the mission. Deconstruct it. Take all that aggression, all that maybe emotion that you're feeling, kind of dissipate it as emotion and put it into action and direct it straight towards that obstacle, plan it, and attack it. This has been AMX 590. The Dichotomy of Leadership is the book we're studying. You can get this book as well as every other book that I read at charliespaniard.com/reading list. I have some awesome books coming up. I'm reading a book on Mr. Rogers. I'm reading a book about 1930 Olympic team that has 20,000 reviews on Amazon. It is just, there's wealth, there's knowledge, there's wisdom coming here. And you know what? I'd love to share it on stage in front of your group, your school, your team, your business. charliespaniard.com/booking has all that information. Get all the books at charliespaniard.com/reading list. Get started this weekend. See ya. Is that what I did, Dred? I couldn't think of the word dissipate. And I'll tell you what, folks, as if you didn't notice, this is the behind the scenes. I froze for the first time. I want to say, well, not the first time. I'm sure I froze before, but I froze. I couldn't think of the word at one point, and I just kept on going, because that's what you do. You just keep on going. Dred, I'm curious to talk to you after the fact to see if it was super obvious, if you forgot about it. Because when I realized I'm screwing up right now, well, that wasn't the screw up part, but I realized I can't think of the word that I'm saying. And then I said the word, and then I went on to the last point, and then I thought, you know what? You know the best time to score in a wrestling match is right after you score. Right? The best time to score in a wrestling match is right after you score. I take you down. You're like, oh, I got taken out. Boom. Right tight on your gut, go for a tilt. That's the best time to score. So I figured I was talking. I kind of forgot what I was going to say. So I thought, you know what? If we just go, I'm going to say aggressive but not reckless. That's actually a perfect example. I'm not just going to blah, 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 but I'm going to hit this point, this great point, and I'm going to hit it hard. I'm going to make them forget about the fact that I just forgot a word. I think it worked. I don't even know. Nobody else even knows, but you know. And maybe like 100 other people are going to know. That's the fun stuff about doing this. That's why I appreciate you all being here, because on stage, someday I'm going to forget my word. And then I'm just going to have to figure it out. We live and learn, folks. We live and learn. We live and learn. Live and let die. Live and let die. All right, folks. That's about it. I'll see you all. Thanks, Dred. Dred has Dred's retired, so he has become my writing coach. But also, I guess maybe he's always been, but maybe a little bit more potent now. My speaking coach. Thank you, Dred. Thank you, Dred. All right, folks. Have a great morning, afternoon. I'll be chiming in sometime this early afternoon to record what I learned this week. So I'll see you. Lo and behold, I did well in the Spartan race, even though I was nervous. I don't even know what to know. See you all.